Okay, everybody. Today we're doing a 1936 Underwood Universal, kind of a review and tutorial. So glad you're here with me. Hey, before we get started, will you give me a thumbs up or subscribe? It just really helps so much, and I appreciate it. So glad you're here. Okay, so my review on the Underwood Universal. Obviously, when reviewing vintage typewriters, it really is individual. It's hard to say this model does XYZ or how it operates, because dealing with vintage typewriters, it really depends on how they've been taken care of. But there are some characteristics that are consistent with each model. So on the Underwood Universal, in this case, the keys are very close together. So if you have petite hands, you're going to really like that, or for kids. Even with petite hands, it's going to be it's an adjustment period, because I kept hitting multiple keys. I have to relearn. My fingers need to relearn where the keys are, because I was just stumbling all over myself. That being said, I really did enjoy the feel of the keys on the Underwood Universal. I could see myself enjoying this typewriter very much. So that's kind of like my initial review. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily for super fast typists. I mean, not that you couldn't do it, but like I said, I really made a lot of mistakes in typing, and so I had to be a little more slow and methodical. And that brings up another point. Each kind of typewriter has its own little personality, and I really found that while I was really enjoying typing on this, the personality of was such that it was more of a pensive feel and look to it, and that is my personal opinion on that. So if you're more of the quiet, pensive type, I think you would really like an Underwood Universal, this 1936. So, okay, so let's take a look at how to operate one if you don't know how, and if you've got one handy, pull it out and kind of go along with me. Now, this model does not have a tab on it. It's smaller, not quite what I consider a travel typewriter, ultra portable, but it is on the smaller end of portable typewriters. So back here, you flip the back plate open, and this is where you're gonna find your margins, and you just press them, and you press this way, you press and drag, okay? And that's how you set your margins. I'm gonna bring them in because my paper is really thin. You have your carriage release here on the right side. You press down on the right side. On the left side, you press back, okay? And then you can hear the bell, very sweet bell. Your paper release is over here. So let's go ahead and, I know this paper's got a lot of stuff on it, but let's go ahead and load some paper. And that's how you load paper. You just set it there, turn the handle, make sure it goes underneath the bar. And then the paper release if you need to straighten out your paper. Okay, I'm gonna move the carriage to the left and then open up the top. And this one, it doesn't even snap shut, it's just sitting there. So just a super light, you just pull it up. You can use a universal ribbon. No problem. I would go make sure it's the 2-inch spool and not the 2 1/4 inch. Now the ribbon is threaded differently than most typewriters on this one. So I'm going to hold this up just so you can kind of look and see kind of how that's threaded in there. If you need to pause it or screenshot it, please feel free to do so. Hope you can see that in there. On this ribbon, you're going to come in and underneath and around top, which is opposite of most typewriters. So again, you come around underneath and then around the top. When you do thread a new ribbon, make sure the black is on top, red is on bottom, and that they are threaded through. There's guide wires right there, and then you kind of, I would just refer to the image to try to navigate how to thread your ribbon through. This is your ribbon reversal is on the side. So let's go over here, right here. is your ribbon reversal, and you go back and forth. Now you can turn it. Let me just go this way. Here we go. You can turn it. That's not the ribbon reversal. It's clicking it front and back. That's how you reverse it. Turning it just takes up slack. Okay, that's all that is for. Okay, so then you have the rounded keys. These are not glass keys, which is typical for this year. These are the decades of the 30s. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a plastic or an enamel or what that is, but it has a really good feel. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to worry about paper underneath the glass yellowing over time. So it stays in really good, in this case, very good condition. You have a lever over here on the left side. That is your margin release, which I'll type here in a second and show that to you. Your tension selector is right here. I really don't find that this makes a lot of difference, but it just adjusts how hard these typewriters are going to strike your paper. And then you have your color selector. So black is on bottom, red's all the way on the top, white is in the middle, and I wouldn't use white because that's a stencil setting. So if you try to type on the white setting, it's not going to imprint on your paper. So let's go ahead, and so you can hear it, I'm going to type a line, and then I will also do the margin release on this line. Okay, so it stopped on me. Margin release. This particular one has really nice bounce back. I love how it feels. And I find the font to be pretty clean. So I'm gonna hold it up. Hopefully you can see that. That's kind of what the font looks like. No, it is what the font looks like. And so that's all there is to the Underwood Universal. It's super simple. Your backspace is right here. Margin release, your ribbon reversal, tension, color selector, shift lock. So shift and it locks, and to release, just press that. You can do either one. And that's all there is to the Underwood Universal. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and happy typing.